we had a really good discussion about Jazzinc. We were talking about, I think we were talking about the animated Batmobile, or we were just talking about in
Yeah,
general, actually.
that's how it
And
started.
so, yeah, and it wasn't, we weren't hating. We were just being really subjective, just having a really great conversation. Monica, do not talk about Voltron.
There's some me and Monica. We know, we
Yeah,
know,
dude,
we know.
Do not trigger
that's
me.
Monica's.
I need
That's
my sunglasses
Monica's
on
show.
if you get it, Monica. Can't.
Um,
That's his
but the
serious
whole thing
point.
is that we were having a really great conversation, and I was like, maybe we should just take it online. I was like, damn, I wish we had Sean involved in this too, because Sean, he missed last week's stream when we were going to talk about the animated Batmobile from Jazzinc, because there was some updates to it. And like, I just want to kind of pick up on that conversation, V, that we had last week and kind of open it up. And then we also have Rudy's video, Rudy's 1/6 scale world. He did a very awesome review on the 22 Batmobile. And it's honestly probably, I would arguably say, one of the most honest reviews that I've seen on a product in a very long time. And you really go through his saw. Now, I'll drop the link to Rudy's video, because it's a lot of him talking. We don't want to talk over it, but you really got to watch that video, because it really goes through his, like, you could literally, I think we've all seen it separately. Like, Carlos, you've seen it. Sean, like, CMB, you've seen it. You could literally watch his thought process as he's on video. Like, watch him, like, his thought, like, going through it all. And it's, you don't get enough honesty, honestly, with YouTube and stuff. Honestly, you don't get a lot of honesty and transparency. And with that review, it really was really great. So what I want to do, and Carlos, I'm gonna, like I said, you get your vocal cords ready, because I'm gonna get you to talk. But I think we started talking about this. So last week, Jazzinc announced their next Batmobile project that was voted on. That was a conversation that we had in itself. And it's, like I said, it's the 20, it's going to be the animated Batmobile, from the cartoon show. And it brought up a whole whirlwind of conversation, in terms of its size, the design of the car, how realistic, how animated. Like, it was just like a whole thing, back and forth, back and forth. Now, Carlos, you have Jazzinc products, so that's why, you have something to speak about. Hey DeLorean, you have Jazzinc products to speak about. I have the 89 Batmobile on order. V, do you have anything or no?
No, I don't.
You don't.
So
Do you have
I
anything
can't.
on
Yeah,
order with them, or were you ever interested?
I was interested. I was
Okay.
interested in a lot of this stuff, but I'll let you guys go first.
Yeah, and then CMB, we know where you stand.
Yep.
But initially, Carlos, I mean, I guess there's no right way to start this conversation, because this one might eat up a little bit of time, because this one was a really good combo we had. But I did want to post this photo here, but there was a video below here where Yost kind of like gave us an update on the project. And to be honest with you, you guys can watch the video, it's on his group. He wasn't full steam ahead on it. He didn't say no to the project, but he kind of talked about what was going on. And Carlos, the one thing that shocked me, as out of, like, how many people, 14,900 members, he said that the animated Batmobile was the winner with a total of 360 votes. 360 people out of 14,000.
I'm a little concerned with that, honestly. I think, like you said, we spoke about it. It just doesn't make sense to me. And I'm not knocking anybody that wants an animated Batmobile from the animated series, but number one, there's no way of vetting any of those people that voted in the first place. Obviously, the first issue is such a small sample of all the people on his group. Second, how many of those people that actually voted are in it to actually buy it? I mean, that's a huge undertaking and financial risk to produce, a vehicle like that, with all the R&D, all the money, all the molds that go into putting these pieces together. There's got to be a better way to make sure that you're actually going to sell these. I mean, that's my issue when it comes to the community. The community, and I'm not knocking the community, but everybody, it's really fickle. Our interests change all the time. How many times do we cancel things? Like, it's hard to get a pulse of what people really want as a whole, especially collectors. My opinion, I feel he should just make what he has a passion for, something he loves, give it a shot, what he thinks might sell as a businessman, and see what everybody wants. I mean, is that all you want to talk about right now? Is that portion of it, or can we just go into everything right now as far
Dude,
as other vehicles?
I
Or
I,
just a
I
broad
I know
statement?
I know the guy below you. I don't think he. How many drinks have you had yet, Sean?
3.
You had 3 so far.
Oh yeah.
Give it another minute, Carlos. You could dive a little bit deeper.
Okay. So you mentioned Rudy's video with the 2022 Batmobile.
He's
and
trying to let Sean marinate. That's what
I'm
he's
trying to
trying
let
to
it
do.
listen like a steak
Get
that's
That hate
marinated.
alert going.
Oh,
No,
man.
not yet. The banner is not ready yet.
2022 Batmobile, we see multiple videos. I think Rudy's was the most comprehensive, and I think it's the only review of an A stock vehicle I think we're talking about, right? Because everything else we've seen is B stock, which means it's damaged. Or
To be fair on that, there is other reviews out there on the car. I know we're kind of jumping around a little bit. There's Rudy's. To be fair, I know, like, for example, Denobi's review that he had done was a B stock. We're gonna leave it like that. There has been there's other reviews like Justin and things like that. There's been other reviewers out there. I'm gonna assume. I don't want to assume or not assume. I'm assuming that everything was like A or whatnot, or whatever it has been. But nevertheless, I'm just trying to be transparent about that, to be honest.
Yep. And to be fully transparent, the limit to my experience with Jazzinc is a few dioramas, which I've bought in the past, and then the Justice Mobile, which I have behind me here. So they, I feel they have really great shelf presence, all the vehicles as a whole. But when you drill down into them, there's like, this isn't knocking anybody. This is just my honest opinion from having owned the vehicle. There's, I mean, where do I start? I didn't get like the first batch, so mine was on a wait list. So I got one of the later vehicles. So I didn't get hit with the later batch Justice Mobile, with the early batch, and I know there's issues overall across the board with front axles. Mine actually shipped with an extra set of axles, just in case they broke, I guess. So it actually came with that. It seems to be holding up better than what I've seen like on other videos of first batch vehicles.
Fourth batch is the charm.
Well, not even. I'll be honest, there's still issues. I have a piece of foam in the front end because I don't trust the axles. When I take the piece of foam out underneath that I have hidden between the two front wheels, the whole middle of the vehicle sags down and the wheels bow out. And if you saw Rudy's vehicle, right, or review of the,
We'll look at we'll get it there. We'll get to there with it. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, the wobbly wheels and everything. That's consistent. My wheels, they wobble. They're not. You know, I would have hoped for like a better, sturdier construction. The cockpit doors, the seams don't line up and they don't sit flush when you close them. I've got magnetic accessories that my son was just moving around the room the other day and walking, and it just tumbled off the vehicle. The magnets aren't very strong, and I mean I can go on and on. I think for the price point, and I'm not knocking it. It was his first vehicle, right? So what I was hoping to see down the line was improvement. I wasn't willing to spend the money to test and see if it gotten better. I mean, for me, it was a $2,000 investment with all the accessories and everything I bought, and I don't feel I got a $2,000 vehicle. And I mean, we're seeing this right now, right on the video. Look at how the wheels jiggle around. Obviously, you're going to have it articulate or turn, right, back and side to side and rotate, but that up and down movement is not like a natural movement that you would get from like a shock absorption type. It's just wiggling there. It's just loose, and that's the kind of stuff that really bothers me. You know, you're paying all this money for this vehicle, and it's really not worth it. I mean, if it would have a lower price point, maybe like Rudy said, maybe we could live with it, but at these prices,
real fast.
Yeah,
even the paint job is not accurate. Like if you look at the screenshots in the movie and on the set photos, there's glossy paint. It's not just one solid matte color. There's actually gloss paint in the Batmobile.
Yeah.
Right? So,
yeah, exactly. And look, I'm not a fanboy. I just want good products, and I want to get what I pay for.
yeah,
I feel
especially
like
with that price tag.
Yeah, and it's a little frustrating because I know that there's a lot of people in the community that and rightfully so. I mean, they want a good product. They get excited for stuff, but they don't know what they're getting into. And I think we really need to be honest. I got no skin in the game. I have no allegiances to anybody. Like I said, I just want a good product. And I think anybody that looks into these really needs to do their research before they buy. I'm not saying don't buy it. What you buy is your choice. But really, really do some research, look into it, look at the pitfalls, the issues, and take your time. Like $2,000 or 1,800 or whatever, depending on how much the shipping is. That's a lot of money. We all have families, we have responsibilities, right? And it's an expensive hobby. You know, you really got to take your time and look where you're putting your money and make sure it's worth it. Think about how many figures you can buy for that. I mean, like I said, I can go on and on. I hope they actually improve. My thing is, if there's no criticism, there's never going to be any improvement. You know, if we keep, you know, unicorns and rainbows don't produce a good product.
Well,
that's really how I feel.
Well, that goes back to now. I just want a couple things. I know Sean's clamoring. I think he's on his fourth one, so I think I'm about to get the banner queued up, and we're gonna unleash the hate in a moment. Not the joke, but you know, a couple things just to take away from Rudy's video. And like I said, if one of the mods out there could do me a favor and drop Rudy's contact info in the live chat, his YouTube channel, and the link to this video, you guys have to watch this. It's like 30 minutes, but I'm doing it for the reason is because I'm just a couple points to take away from. Number one, he was talking about the wheels as being a disappointment, and he talked to me a few days before this video came out. And the way that it transpired was Sean, and then he'll get into it. He has the car on order, and I said, hey, my buddy Rudy got the car, and he just finished his review. He goes, can you send me some video? So the video, I saw a video of the wheels a couple days before. Rudy's words, not mine. Watch the video. I'm paraphrasing. But I had asked him, and he did the review of the car, and his advice to me was, what I did was I got the car, my fandom took over, and then what I did was I let it sit for a few days. I didn't review the car the day I got it. I let it sit for a couple days on the shelf and kind of let it sit and digest, went back, looked at the car, and his perception changed. And he was like, I have trouble figuring out where $1,800 of my money went on the car. He goes, maybe $1,000. He said there's a lot of detail in the engine, looks fantastic, like that piece there, that's the main point. But he felt like because they went so hard on this, there was other areas on the car they skimped on, like they just did, because that's like the main focal point of the car. And it's just it's interesting because it was a really honest review, which is really nice. And I just don't think there was a lot of transparency. Now, once again, we shouldn't have to do this because you guys are hating and shitting on them. Listen, I have the 89 Batmobile on order. I have about $400 left on the car. So I'm a customer of Jazzinc's. Not saying that means anything. If I still want to talk about it, I'm going to talk about it regardless. But there's a lot of people on this panel that own or will be owning the product. And so it's important because I don't think that there's enough transparency with these products in the community. I don't think that there is. And the reason why I tout Rudy's review is because he's not affiliated with Jazzinc in the sense of like having them on streams, talking. It was just a straight, honest review from a YouTuber who not many people probably even know. Probably a lot of people watching don't even know who Rudy is. And you know what? Those are some of the best channels, honestly. The YouTube channels. I watch a lot of reviews from channels that nobody knows because it's just honest people putting up videos of stuff and reviewing it. There's no hidden, I'm going to say agenda, but nevertheless, that's just one.
Let's just say that there's no hidden discounts being given.
Yeah, there you go. We'll see CMB's
There's a lot of that. But you did make a good point. It is, if you look at the car, it is worked backwards to forwards. Like if you look in the back end, that's where all the detail is. That's where like the pop is. And as you slowly move forward toward the front, you can see the quality kind of dip down and like a sliding scale.
Yeah. Well, I just want to read some comments back there. Let's see. I just want to jump back real fast before Keaton Car 89 says there needs to be a support crossbeam to hold the axle still. 1-6 Star Wars Pimpazoid, fantastic name. Jazzinc's paint apps have always not been great. I had to send my race speeder back 3 times to get one where the paint wasn't messed up. But to their credit, I finally got one that was perfect. That credit to Jazzinc. I've heard nothing but outstanding customer support from them. Sean, you can tell me otherwise if I'm true, but I've heard the customer support is fantastic. Like they help you however you need to be helped. So credit to them for that. TK Boyd 210 says, I wanted the Jedi Fighter so bad, but I ain't paying the price. to chant for the QC. I get
Exactly.
it, absolutely. Batman Collectibles, great. Love the logo. Great names. Batman Collectibles says most honest review ever. No BS. 100%. Keith Lee says the weird thing is, where was this feedback and callouts during the announcement phase? I mean, how do I tackle that? The announcement phase.
What do you mean, like when the car was announced,
Yeah,
or when
Keith,
it was when it was in hand, people were to review?
Well, Keith, you have to expand on a little bit, because the way that the process of it works is that, like the animated, the way that Yoast does is that he collects community feedback for the car, like the 89. He gathers feedback from the community, does the renderings, puts them out there, and then people criticize and say, change that, change this, change this, change that. So people are, and that's probably my criticism, is that you're not paying for an item that's fully done. You're paying for a rendering, and then you get the final product later. That was my criticism when the 89 Hot Toys came out, and people were like, well, Jazzinc's going to do it better. My whole criticism was, well, there's no physical product of Jazzinc to compare it to. That's the problem. You have to pay for it, and then you get the final product to see what it looks like. You know what I mean? So that is kind of a hard one where, the feedback, because the first batches that go out, the car's already done. And you know what? And Sean, now we can, you can jump in. The feedback might be there, then that's what we're talking about, the third or fourth batch. Like the fourth batch might get these issues fixed.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what happened with the Justice Mobile. And in this one, I'm afraid that's for the 22 Batmobile, that's not going to be the case. Because you have, even the recent ones that being released, they still have this issue. And not just the wheels themselves that are having issues. It's the exhaust parts that come out of the side, the bar on the bottom that are pretty flimsy. Like is what I've been hearing across the board. And this is something like look, okay, for all the reviewers that did this before, why didn't you show the axle? Why didn't you show how flimsy the track bar is on the bottom in front of the door to get in, and the exhaust system and stuff like that? Why didn't they point it out? Did they get is it because they got it early, or did they get a discount?
Or maybe there was no issue with theirs, because like you said,
I'll guarantee you there is. Then yeah. let them come back on, show video, and show the community that there wasn't an issue with the
Adam Savage's vehicle had the same wheel issue.
Yeah, it did.
We actually pointed that out on the stream when we looked at. Remember, Sean? It was Denobi was on, and we were looking at Sean. What's his name's unboxing. Remember, we saw it live. We're like, oh wait a minute, holy shit! That wheel just jiggled like that. Remember, he touched the wheel and it did that, and we
and then the other guy, Graham, whatever, he kind of played it off or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, untested, right?
Yeah. So my expectations for this are already pretty low. I only got I think I $200 left to pay on this, and that's it.
I was going to ask you where your head's at right now, because like I said, you only have.
I'm not very excited, but I'm kind of committed now. Where I have this whole line of I get this massive display area for Batman now, and I'm just okay, it's going to kill me if I don't have these vehicles. And not okay. I'm kind of in the middle of the road, because I got some really crappy Jazzinc stuff. I got some okay, good stuff that I'm acceptable. But even then, the acceptable stuff, I'm still not happy what I paid for. For example, probably the best vehicle or the diorama that Jazzinc has done is the 66 Batmobile. And granted, what he spent 6 years on that, 5 years, from the moment it was announced to whatever. It was a ridiculous. I'm not sure. I'm just
you're wrong. You're not wrong. It was a very long period of time.
Yeah, because he stopped it for a couple of years, and then he ended up doing the Justice Mobile.
Yeah,
as a test one, and so he so that one it's probably his best work yet, but it's not worth $1,500. And I actually when he first ordered that, I was one of the you can on one hand, I was definitely one of the first people that paid it off right off the bat. To support a 66 Batmobile. That's my vehicle. That's my jam. when I started collecting, when Hot Toys had the original 66 Batman and Robin, and they showcased that 66 Batmobile, I was like, okay, I'm in, buying Hot Toys. Started getting that, and then then they pulled the rug out from underneath you. They're not going to do the Batmobile. So when then Jazzinc said he was going to do shit, I'm all in. And so, and then like it just started taking forever. And then he started saying like, okay, now we're going to do the Justice Mobile now instead as a test run. I said, oh, okay, well, I'll support that. That's a pretty cool. I like Zack Snyder's movie. So I did that, got that, and I was like, man, that's just like, there's no way he's going to be able to do the 66. And so contacted Jazzinc, and to Mr. Mom's credit, yeah, he does has great customer support. So when I said like, look, I want my money back, gave me my money back right away. Kudos to Jazzinc for that. And then because I knew that I learned, and you know what, I was one of the first ones out there. Don't get the first batch. Whatever you do, don't get the first batch, because that happened to me with the Millennium Falcon cockpit too. So so got the money, and then as soon as the 66 went on wait list, I put my order in, and then 3 days later, hey, wait list came up, so I got it. I was the very last batch, and it's a good vehicle.
And that's the video Denobi did.
Yeah, and it's a good vehicle, and there's some issues with it. The trunk won't close seamlessly. The doors have some issues. The stickers aren't that great on it, but you know what? It's fine. It's probably one of the better paint jobs that they've ever done, just because it's a pure car glossy paint. But it's not worth that money. But it's worth that money to me, as a huge fan of Batman 66. So it's worth that money for me, but I wouldn't recommend it for the average collector that just wants to have a cool vehicle. They're not going to be happy with it. So that's basically what I said can say about that experience. I got this, yeah. So I should be getting this in the next month or two, and I do have the 89 on order as well.
Do you plan on doing some type of video unboxing at all, or do you have anything planned, or
well,
or I don't want to put you on the spot if you have anything secretly lined up. Let's put it that way.
No. Like I don't really do any videos or anything like that. But like I might, just for fun, just let Denobi have it. Just go to town on it.
There you
just
go.
For fun.
There you go.
If anything, just for the comedy gold for him making fun of me about getting it.
Well, you touched on something there, Sean, and like you said, and then I think I'll jump to V, and then just kind of bounce around, because I feel like there's more we talk about, because I know there's, but like that's what you kind of touched on. That I feel like Jazzinc, it's gonna be, I'm trying to think how I can articulate this. It's gonna be the same song and dance that I don't think is ever gonna end. Kind of like third party figures, because a lot of people say, well, where else can you find X, Y, and Z? I get that. That's probably the problem, is that, like you just said, it's not worth the money. It's a niche product for a niche customer, for a fan that wants that. Like the 89 Batmobile. I say it time and time again. I have both. I have the Hot Toys and I got the Jazzinc. The Hot Toys I owe the final payment on. Jazzinc I think I owe like $400 on. I don't know many people that are stupid enough to say I'm buying both cars. I'm buying both cars. I will review them independently, and I will review them together. Why did I get them? It's because I'm a huge 89 fan. Batman 89. It's one of my favorite. I say this time and time again. I didn't day one pre-order. I was all about day one pre-ordering the 89 Jazzinc Batmobile. And that's kind of the problem, is that when you talk to certain people that have a skewed mindset, they're like, well, why would you get that? It's so much money. Just get the Hot Toys one. It's perfectly fine. And I was like, yeah, I guess it makes sense. So I didn't get the Jazzinc right away. I pre-ordered the Hot Toys day one. And then, what happened was when I was doing that interview with Carl Newman, who worked on 89 Batman with Michael Keaton, I did that interview way back when. I watched Batman for like 7 times in a week, like studying for the interview. And I was like, dude, I love this movie so much. I just went on and pre-ordered the Batmobile from Jazzinc. I didn't care. I was like, dude, I'm doing it. I'm just doing it. And I'm going to have an 89 display and I'm going to do a 1992 display. So that's the reason why I have both cars. I'll do one from 92 with Batman Returns and stuff, and I'll do one with 89. But I got to be honest, I'm like, my feelings go like a roller coaster. I tell Carlos this all the time. Him and I've talked about my feelings are like excited, not so much. Excited, not so much. Right now, where I stand, I'm completely indifferent. I'm just like, all right.
Well, I think
I'll get it when I get it, because I'm like, I do think the 89. I think Carlos, you said this, if I'm not mistaken, that the 89 is possibly going to be one of his most hyped up vehicles. Meaning, his
yeah.
his big crown jewel, because it has so much popularity that it's almost got to be a home run. It's got to be a home run.
Well, not only that. Sorry, I'm going to cut off Carlos here, but I just got to jump in right there. It's not like, I mean, okay, he did the 66, which is probably his best work yet. He knows, Yost knows that he has to nail the 89 out of the bat, just because Hot Toys is doing it too.
Yeah.
This is the make it or break it for him. So he has to, like, I mean, he's touted that this is the best. Hey, this is the truest version. This is like, we're going above and beyond. Like, he's saying it's the best version to date. Like, he's called out Hot Toys. He's got to bring it.
When I saw that, like, I got one more point and then V, I promise. But the thing is that when I get a product, right, I obviously, like, as a YouTuber, I have an opinion about everything. But when I'm all in on something, I get really opinionated and I get really in depth on it. Like In Art, for example. In Art, I knew everything about, but then when I pre-ordered the Superman, I kept a real close eye on the whole process. Like, how does the pre-ordering process go? How did you know what I mean? Like, and I studied the 89 process. And if this is how he does it, where he puts out, like, I was expecting, like, oh, okay, where's the finished car? People were like, no, what he does is he does a rendering of the car. I'm like, oh, so I have to pre-order based on a rendering. And for months, it was just the stock photo of the car. I'm like, okay, fair. Then he does the process and he builds the car, and I get it. Like, you need backers to put the money for. I get that whole, but I was just understanding the process as we got here. And the Hot Toys one, I know what to expect with Hot Toys for that amount of money. It's a $700 car. It's a mass-produced car. I know, Carlos, you're holding out hope.
Yeah.
Wait, real fast. But Carlos is holding out hope. He smiles because he knows what I'm going to say.
Well,
He's holding out hope. What?
Can I mention that?
Go ahead, dude.
So
I have
really
faith,
feel, I really feel both companies have to bring their A game. For Hot Toys, it's not going to cut it for them to bring a reissue, basically, with maybe some more bells and whistles. Call it a 2.0 of what they previously released. That car is underscaled. It needs to be redone. I know Jazzinc is doing a more screen accurate sizing on the vehicle, is what they're saying. Jazzinc's challenges, I feel, there's two major concerns I have with the 89 Batmobile with Jazzinc. One is obviously the wheels. That just seems to be a hit or miss issue for them on vehicles. Number two, what I'm really concerned with is the paint job, because it's not a 2022 Batmobile with, even the clean version had some weathering, right? This is supposed to be, in the movies, I don't remember it being showing any kind of weathering. It was just a complete, clean, matte black vehicle, and matte paint is hard to get right. So with the fingerprint issues they had in the past, and I'm not trying to say they can't improve, it's just be a real concern with me with that vehicle is the paint job. How that turns out. There's no room for error on a paint job like that, I feel.
Yeah.
V.
It's a good thing this Batmobile didn't come with no pinstripes.
No, but the biggest thing is that Jazzinc is going to face is, like, especially with Hot Toys coming out with their 89, is like, okay, it's $700 for Hot Toys. Like, remind me again, Mr. Mom, what's the Jazzinc one? It's
$14.99 plus
14,
whatever the shipping is going to be. Like,
so it's going to be $300 in shipping.
Don't remind me, please.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So we're looking at $1,800.
Sorry, not sorry.
$1,800 delivered. This has to be, like, not only Yost, he just can't rely on just say it's more accurate. It's the size. It's not going to work. This has to be worth twice as much, over twice. This has, like, when I'm looking at it, like look, I have the 89, the original 89 Batmobile. It's a nice vehicle. It's nice. When I got it displayed with my figures and everything, it's a showstopper. Now, this one, like now, I've seen the prototype he has. The interior cockpit is a hell of a lot better. The LED lighting is way better. Like the gauges and all that stuff is awesome. Now the paint job that he did for the prototype is way the hell better because it actually looks like, okay, this could be a metal car versus a plastic car, which is Hot Toys.
Yeah.
That alone, that was one of the main things that sold me, which is bad because their paint jobs is horrible on normal stuff. But he's going to be judged. This is not just going to be judged on accuracy. It's going to be judged, is this worth more than double? And that's where his company's going to, he's either going to be able to show Howard
that he could do it or not.
I got you.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? Bring it. Or Howard's just going to say, told you.
V, I'm getting called out that you're silenced.
Oh man,
the floor is yours now. I've silenced you for long enough where Nate's pissed. He's like, let V speak.
First of all, what's up, Nate? Second of all, it is a very weird position to be in for Jazzinc, right? They're tying themselves as to 1-to-1 scale of scale vehicles. Is that correct? Right? They're supposed to be the top tier of all the people of making 1/6 vehicles out there. There's no one better than them. They're staying that would be one bit better than them.
They say they're the most screen accurate.
Right. So most screen accurate, that's where their top dollar money is coming. Like that's why they're saying that we need your top dollar to bring that. But Ryan, you made a great point of like, hey, you track down the process, right? The process of how Jazzinc does is like we have a 3D rendering of how this does, of how this will look, and then we'll work it from there. Hot Toys has the opposite. How many prototypes have they released to show you? It's like, hey, here's what we got in hand that we made, and this is what we're gonna sell you on. It's a whole different scale of operations of what you potentially get and what you might get. And that's where Jazzinc fails at, is that for any of these vehicles, he should make it prior to make one vehicle prior to even saying like, hey, here's what we're thinking of doing. Here's how I will do it. Here's what I was going to do. Here's how it might look in your hands. But doing a 3D rendering of all that stuff and giving the hope and dreams of what your dream car could look like, you're shooting yourself in the foot. Like every purchaser with $1 is sold on a dream, and you can make that dream as imaginative as possible or as low as expectation as it could be.
Yeah.
So it's just the hype that blinds a lot of people of what an actual product is. For people going into this, right? The 2023. You can go back and look at the Justice League vehicle that you got. Obviously that one had a lot of people a bad reception on, right? People still talking to this day. Like I don't think there's one Justice League vehicle that people have that a person that has is like, this is great. The 66 that came out was a huge improvement, but still had a lot of faults. Saw streamers that are like, hey, the lights don't work, the pinstripes don't match up, the paint job is here and this and this and that.
You get the final batch.
Unless you get the final batch. But that's the thing, is that I love Jazzinc for giving dream vehicles to people that are in this collection. Can't fault him enough. He's giving the dioramas, he's giving the vehicles, giving everything that Hot Toys won't do. But there's a problem of how he does the assembly line for this. When he was first beginning, it was like him and his sons, right? I believe. Just him and his dad.
Family. Him and his dad.
Him and his dad just tooling together, just doing the American dream, even though he's not in America, and making it happen for collectors out there. If Jazzinc didn't grow anymore and he was just doing that, just like, hey, I'm just two dudes just in a workshop just making shit happen, I would be fine with it. But now he got the DC license. Now he's legit. It's not third party anymore. He's got all the resources possible. how do you like go with that? You have a license. You're not only representing yourself, you're representing the company that gave you the license, and all this America, brother. Listen here, brother. I want to tell you something. But it's heartbreaking to see these quality issues, because I think in our hearts and our hearts,
especially for the cost.
yes, right.
Yeah, you shouldn't get these quality issues for the cost. And I mean, please, man, you send me the hate. If you're out there and you're gonna cry me a river about how it's a mom and pop shop, okay, when a mom and pop shop is taking $300,000 to $600,000 in pre-orders, okay, cry me a river. Send me the hate. I'm telling you, when you're paying this much money for even a custom, any custom, there's going to be no, because it's handmade. You're not going to have any QA issues when you're paying this much. Like, I mean, come on. There's no QA issues when you're dropping this much money. Like, imagine you just bought the Hot Toys, got when they released the Hulk Buster.
Yeah.
Imagine if that had a bunch of QA issues. Tell me there wouldn't be hate. Tell me there wouldn't be.
I'll give you a real life, dude. I'll give you a real life example. A real life example. Tony Stank, Nate's own, right? His favorite one to go to, right? That had so much hate to it.
No.
Hot Toys was like, shit, we fucked up.
This is a licensed product. That's why, and actually, and the 66 Batmobile was his first licensed product. So that's why that one was considered. I would consider one of his best.
Yeah.
No, just forgive.
Yeah, go ahead.
Forgive me if I change the subject here, but like I need to go back because I wanted to rant it on something earlier about that animated version of that Batmobile. That will be the biggest blunder, the worst thing that he ever announces is that the animated Batmobile. Out of the 300 that won that, I'll guarantee you 50% of those people won't even purchase it. And then not only that, like not 50% of that voted for it, half of that 50%, which is 25, would want a realistic version, and even less than that wants an animated version.
Well, so it's not even the animated one's not even accurate compared to this blueprint. If you look,
I know it's like it's like 4 feet long.
Longer. Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
Even,
where are you going to put that?
Hey,
if you lay Batman down on its side, right?
There's no way.
Accurate vehicles. This is
there's
accurate. This is too short.
Yeah, there's no accurate animated version to go off of. There's no blueprints.
That's why I pulled this picture up, because he said if we make the if we make the animated series based on this drawing, the sizes, he's confirmed that he's basically going off of this detail right here.
Okay,
someone has said this to him already.
What animated figures do we have? You have the Bondo one.
That's it.
How many people bought that?
And you have one third party.
You have third party.
Okay, one third party. Yay!
S-Hero's making it.
Yeah, that I want to spend $1,500 to $1,800 on a third party figure to complement my third party figure. Seriously.
What's crazy is that when he did the video,
like, this will be the biggest blunder ever if he makes this, because nobody will be happy. It'll be nothing but complaints, and then no wonder he's tap dancing out of this.
Well,
in that video
about this, though,
Ryan, if you Google animated Batmobile,
yeah,
right,
it's all over the place.
You could see that the size, though, no matter what, the majority of the pictures you see, it's way longer. It's not this short. So if this is the schematics he's going off of, it's not accurate.
You can even go on like it's not the Hasbro, but like the animated, like the other toy line, right?
Yeah,
you can see it's like actually longer than that. Yeah. But going on the numbers, right? We want to talk numbers. The people that voted. Out of the whole people, like the 14,000 people and the 300 people that actually voted for it, that won that contest of who wants this next vehicle, that's about 2 to 3% of the whole group. Now you take that 2 to 3%, right? You divide it maybe even in half. That's who's going to be pre-ordering that, right? You're not going to have a lot of people going in.
The only way he would be able to get away with this is if he changed up his whole MO. It's like, okay, hey, it voted. Okay, here's the render that he's going to go off of. Hey, this is the animated version. It's just these are the dimensions. Vote like how many then put it up for pre-order right away. If he makes the mark, he makes the mark. If he doesn't, man, he's crazy for taking any type of cut, like his like a Facebook group critique on this. It's a this is the Kobayashi Maru.
Well, what's interesting is that
it's Carlos, a lose-lose for him.
Well, Carlos, we talked about this. I was like really like mind boggled when I found out how many people like won the vote. I was expecting it to be like, well, with 4,000 votes is this, with 3,500 it's this, like that. When it was like 360, I had to rewind the video to make sure like I heard that, because I thought it was 360 more than the previous. It was like 360 total. I was like, holy shit. Even Yost said he was surprised that the 97 didn't win, just for the sake of cinematically giving a collector the chance to cinematically have every vehicle, including the Hot Toys tumbler. It would have given a collector could have owned every single live action Batmobile at that point.
Didn't the Arkham one came in next?
The Arkham one was third. Yeah, Arkham one was third.
What was second?
But what's that?
What came in second?
It was animated, the 1997, then the Arkham.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So, but Carlos, a good point we talked about was even like his system, where I think we discussed that, like, sometimes I think, being the people's champion, which he evidently is doing, sometimes that can backfire, and like I had an idea, and I think you kind of thought it wasn't a bad one. It was like, sometimes maybe Yost just picked the project himself and let the people vote on maybe some features. Like, hey guys, I'm doing the 97 Batmobile. I want to do this to complete the line, and we're going to do this, and this. Hey, here's a vote. What, you could do these features. Which features do you want to see most in the car? This is what I can do within the budget of what's available for the car. I know you and I talked about this. I don't know, get your thoughts on that.
Correct. I mean, if you want to do collector community feedback, that's the way to go. I can't stress enough. I mean, and I hate to say this, there's a reason Hot Toys really doesn't interact too much. There's so many different opinions. I mean, you bring a figure up and look at how many people say something different about that figure. How are you really going to get a good idea overall? Engagement's a big deal. Do you really have the necessary engagement to get a real solid view of how people feel about it all? The pick something you're passionate about, that you want to make, that you think will sell well, and then let everybody vote on, like, for example, even though I don't think it's a good idea to make this animated vehicle, he put out like, what version of the animated vehicle? Do you want a pure animated? Do you want a more realistic version? Those are the kinds of things I think really should be voted on. I wouldn't say to actually, I like Sean said it well. I really don't think this is going to get much traction. Perfect example was the Jedi Starfighter. Like, I don't know if he actually made it, but I know he really struggled with that, and I think that won a community vote too.
I don't think he actually met the quota, but what I think is going on with that one is that he fell short, but he's moving forward and making it in hopes that he expects that when it goes into actual production and there's like a physical prototype, like a physical one, more people will jump on the pre-order. I think that's what he said in his last video. Correct.
But, I mean, look, I really feel Yost, and no hate towards him. He's a businessman. He's trying to do the best he can. I think he's really pushing his business to the limits. If just an assumption I'm making based on things I see. He's, like, even someone mentioned in the comments, right? He's making handcrafted vehicles. This isn't a production like Hot Toys. I really think he needs to put his blows where they count and make something that is going to be more of a surefire success. I think even looking at this without getting any feedback, the animated Batmobile, I don't think that's really on anybody's radar overall. Like Sean said about figures, we don't even have figures for this thing other than Mondo and some third-party figures. And big part of selling vehicles is what figures do you have to go with it. So,
and V, like, I'm trying to think, like, I was talking about where my mindset is, right, with this vehicle, right? So, right. And we're gonna get into it now. Now I feel like I'm getting my hands dirty. We're gonna get into the nitty gritty of this.
Can't wait. Let's cut it.
No, it's fine. We're just being honest. Is that yes, he's making a small run of vehicles. Seems like a great guy. Seems like a nice guy from what I could see. He's touted on YouTube streams, all over. And so what mind boggles me I don't care how many vehicles he made. I know his production run, I mean, 160's nuts said that he made 500 of the 95 Batmobiles. Yeah, that one was going to be a tough sell. It's a very lucrative car, a lot of money. I get it. I totally get it. What I don't understand is, so I'm going to have both Batmobiles. I'm going to have the 89 Hot Toys. I'm going to have the Jazzinc. Right now, the Jazzinc, I'm scheduled for August shipment for the Jazzinc. There's a possibility I'm going to have the Hot Toys one first. I have one payment left on it. So I'm probably going to get one first. And I'll look at one, get really excited, and I look at the other one. The reality is I have two different sets of expectations for the vehicles. And I think that's fair. I have $800 worth of expectations out of Hot Toys, and I have $1,500 to $1,800 worth of expectations out of Jazzinc. I don't expect them to be the same. Like, if you tell me right now, if I get both vehicles, I expect the Jazzinc one to be the superior vehicle because I'm paying almost 2.5 times the price of Hot Toys. I expect 2.5 times more of the quality. Hot Toys is going to get a pass on certain things because I'm spending a third of the price. So that is just, you know what I mean?
No,
It's
you're right, man. Because
it's like I go to buy, like, you know, a product at Walmart, and then I go to like Gucci. I expect Gucci to be better than Walmart. I mean, maybe not, but that's just what it is. And what's really amazing is the pass that Jazzinc, they get a pass, just like in art. Hot Toys gets a pass on things too, but we're focusing on Jazzinc right now. Like, this is the main point of the conversation.
Yeah.
And I think YouTubers give them a pass, and I do, and that's why I still really tout Rudy's review, because it was nothing but honest and genuine.
Which it should be. It should be just a genuine opinion of what you're getting for the amount of money. Hot Toys has gotten a pass. It was mentioned, I think, by Keith Lee. Sorry, the DeLorean Mark II. Right?
Oh, train wreck.
Yeah, absolute, like, just out of the box, first batch, just got demolished. It wasn't worth what you paid for, all that stuff. Yeah,
Got
yeah,
one.
same, dude, same. Yep, Carlos got it too. Man, we got hosed on it, and it sucks. But at the same time, you know, not everyone keeps talking about that. No one ever brings that up because, you know, the next vehicle that they bring out, we're looking at the Mark III DeLorean, and now the 89 Batman, right? We're not expecting to have those QC issues because we know Hot Toys fixes those down the line, more or less. But going back to, you know, what you said, like the price point is really the differentiator. Like your expectation, that's the key thing. Is like, you're paying so much for this product to be perfection, right? You're coming out to tell people, it's like, this is screen accurate, this is perfection in your hands, when it's not. When people have it in their hands and they're looking at it and it's not perfection, and that's a huge issue. And more people need to know about that. It's like, hey, what's going on? Is it your production line? Is that what's the issue? Is it you're not getting the right material in line, or is it not enough money that you need to put into this product to make it perfection? Right? Like, what is it, Joe? Like, you got to let the people know.
Well, and like Nelson C says, you know, the size alone makes Jazzinc vastly superior to Hot Toys. I don't disagree with that comment. I don't disagree with it, especially and also, I forgot we didn't even mention this. Sean, you have the Hot Toys 89.
Yeah.
So, like, this, based on the features and electronics of Jazzinc, there is no, I don't think there's any there's truth to that. Like, I remember when Denobi did your video, like, yeah, the lighting did look, I mean, granted the car was older, but the lighting didn't look great on the car. You're right.
The LED lighting and the cockpit itself was compared, like, is just bad.
Yeah, 100%. So, like, for me, when I'm looking, like, all right, now I'm going to tell you guys right now, and I told Carlos this. I think we had this conversation, like, literally today, when he was asking me, like, you know, because Rudy, in the video, I have the car on payment plan. Rudy put down a $300 deposit on the car. He's contemplating canceling and losing the $300. He said to me, as of, I think it was a couple days ago, he goes, "I would rather lose $300 than pay $1,500 and be disappointed again." That's what he said. He goes, "I don't know yet. I have to make up my mind," because that's where he is. But that's where he's at. For me right now, I'm going to be honest. The number one thing that scares me, there's two things that worry me about the 89 car specifically. Number one is the paint. That concerns me. That thing is high gloss. It's solid, like Carlos was saying. It's solid. There's just, you know, and then the second thing is the wheels. The whole wobbly wheel thing. I'm already contemplating in my head that I might get a very thin riser to lift the car just enough off the ground, but the wheels are still on the ground, so it visually looks like it's sitting on the ground, but enough to take the strain off of the wheels so that they don't potentially like cave. Like that is actually what my main concern is right now,
Right.
because that car
Carlos.
looks slow and in the weight of it, like his
Yeah.
Justice Mobile back there.
Right. And that's what I was going to say. Carlos, you've had those issues and you've talked to other people with the Justice Mobile issue about the wheels, right?
Correct.
It seems like there'd be an ongoing issue. Like, can you explain a little bit more like what happened with
Yeah.
the wheels of the Justice League vehicle?
For like I said, I have a later, which is another thing. Before I get into that, like I just really want to get this off my chest. I've been holding this in for like the past
Preach.
2 years.
Preach.
3 years.
What other company gives their initial supporters, the people that help fund it all, the worst product? That makes
Exactly.
absolutely no sense. To me.
Exactly. So like, yeah, you're a first supporter, you get the worst product.
Yeah.
You're a come Johnny lately, you get the best one.
Correct.
Well, Tesla's kind of like that. Just,
So that's number one. And I have a later batch. I'm assuming I have a later batch. I got on a wait list because what Denobi showed in his video is not what I got. I have to be fair. Like my vehicle is not that bad. But I mean, if you want, I'll show you. I'll go off camera a second, move it over. If you take the support that I put off of underneath it, those wheels aren't going to hold. I've had it on foam for the past 2 years. I had it on like that for maybe a month, and I saw it continue to sag and sag and sag more. The wheels literally bow out from the bottom out like this, and the entire vehicle just like sinks down. It's I just feel it, and so someone in the comments said, this is a custom model. It's still not acceptable. Like, let me ask you something. If you order an expensive figure from Hot Toys and the sculpt is on point, but it comes to you and all the joints are loose, are you going to accept that? No,
absolutely not. No.
This is a $1,500 1/6 scale vehicle that, by the way, it weighs a ton. This whole thing is a brick of resin. It's a block of resin.
Can you give us a quick squat? Can you squat it? No, I'm just joking.
No, seriously, I'll bring it over. I'll show you. It needed more support. The vehicle is overweight, and the support on the wheels, like a vehicle like this needed some kind of metal mechanism or metal assembly for the wheels.
Yeah.
It's all plastic. The whole thing's plastic.
Well, actually, it's resin.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, the body is resin. I'm assuming the hinges are going to be similar material, but the axles, but it's all a mess. I feel you think there'd be some improvement after so many vehicles. I'll give them this. I have heard that the licensed Justice Mobile or BVS Batmobile was a huge improvement over the original non-licensed release. But,
yeah, the Zack Snyder version is supposed to be the best one.
Correct. So, I mean, I keep hearing this, like it's not even a Hot Toys price. You're talking about double to triple a Hot Toys vehicle depending on what you're buying. So you have to think about that. They have to be held to a higher standard.
But they're not. But that's the thing, is it's not though. That's what's kind of weird to me, is that and I don't know how many times, I don't mean to cut you off. I don't know how many times to say this. I mean, I made a video on my channel. I rated the Back to the Future DeLorean as my #1 most disappointed product of 2023. How much more clear can I say that? I just want to know, like, how much more clear can I be? I remember when I was on Denobi's stream, and I had people. I'm not even kidding. I was on Denobi's stream around the time of the DeLorean came out. I would have people message me on Facebook Messenger because I was associated with Denobi, and people know his feelings about Jazzinc, saying, you gave Hot Toys a pass. I literally said on stream that the DeLorean was the worst product I have at the time of 2023. And you know what? Nothing has taken that crown from all last year. It's the #1 worst product I have experienced for 2023. So for those out there like, I don't know what more I can say. The car sucked. And you know what sucks though? is that I'm very passionate. You know what's even worse, guys, in general, when it's an IP that you genuinely love. Like, it sucks that it's Back to the Future. Like, the 22 Batmobile is not iconic for me. Like, it's not an iconic vehicle.
It's way too new to be even iconic.
Like, if I had at $1,800, I'd rather buy the Ecto 1. And even what's funny is that the Ecto 1 from Blitzway got a pass with the crooked stickers. Like, people couldn't put stickers on the damn car right, and it was $1,800. I mean, and I know, if we were talking about Blitzway, I'd rip their asshole apart on that. But I understand. But we're talking about this product that, it's just insane to me that
it's. Well, the thing is, it's like
I'm sometimes at a loss, honestly.
No, you're not. You're not at a loss. But the thing is, it's like I think.
He's right. Look, our Blitzway just laughing at people, not like, it's true though. Blitzway got away with one.
Yeah,
he's that one. Blitzway got away with one.
It flew under the radar, man. Like, it was after Afterlife came out, it was like in and out. It came out way after the movie was done.
Because you know what the problem was? Everyone missed out on that 84 and wouldn't pay $4,000. So like, you know what? I'll take a crooked logo on an Afterlife for $1,800 instead of paying $4,000 for an original one.
Exactly.
And they got a Blitzway. That was like the catfish of the year was that Blitzway Afterlife. They got away with it.
They certainly did. And not enough people should call them out. That's why we need. We'll see what happens with Blitzray and the new Ghostbusters, or if we get another vehicle from Hot Toys for Ghostbusters. But I do want to bring it back, Carlos, with your Justice League vehicle, because like I think a lot of people don't realize like how the wheels are on that. Can you show the people how that?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Let me bring it over. Give me one minute.
Yes, you can do that. But I want to talk to C&B for a second because we're both statue collectors, right? And if we say we had to put $1,800 down, right, on a shitty statue, the community would be up in arms. Am I right? Am I wrong, or am I?
No, you're not wrong, man. Not wrong at all. I mean, hell, when people have to put up even just $1,000 on a statue, if something comes out shitty, they will burn places down to the ground with how they feel.
Yeah,
there are no passes when it comes to in the statue community. They don't let people slide when you make these kinds of mistakes. And the same should be given in the scale community.
Yeah, that they have everyone at a certain standard. The statue game people have been in it for a very long time, and I would believe it's a more wider community as well. It's given like with anime and all that stuff. One that comes to mind was I think it was the Blitzway Joker. They had like 3 different portraits of that to make up for the first one that was so trashy.
The Blitzway Prime 1 collaboration.
Right. Yeah. And that's a big one because that was about was that 2000 or was it how much? Do you remember how much that was?
No, I want to say it was like 1,500, but because let's say if you ordered it directly from Prime 1, you're paying for both boxes. So when all said and done, it would equate to damn near $2,000.
God damn, yeah, that's just so bad. And before we go
to Carlos,
because the community literally came out and was like, that doesn't look like your proto, that looks like absolute horse shit, that's not Heath Ledger, and then that's when they had to create like you said, the 2 other sculpts, the special edition one where it's half Heath Ledger, half Joker, and then the one where it's just Joker with a stern face. So and they had to do that just because they were not hearing the end of it, and the community was up in arms saying that they felt that they got they were done dirty.
Exactly, and they want to get their money's worth.
And unacceptable,
yeah. And even to that, I'll go back. There's another tangent we could go on for another 10 minutes on a different company, but I want to go see this Justice League.
Yeah, what I want to do is, are you ready first, Carlos? You ready?
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull you up on the solo. That way you're on main screen so everyone can see you. So you're full screen, so everyone's looking at you now.
So first, I'll do the
high def. Right.
So this is the wobble videos. And I did not do that on purpose. I mean, it fell off earlier. I was trying to put it on.
Oh no!
You gotta finesse it in.
That's what she said.
It's good to get over there.
And then, so you got both sides, right? So that's my issue there. And then, like, you look at the cockpit door here, it doesn't even sit right. The seams don't line up. This is the wobble I have on the spoilers.
Jesus.
That's a feature.
Oh, is it to pick up wind? I
And
gotcha.
I mean, I'll show you something. Like, it's supposed to key into the vehicle, right? That's the key right there. Keys in.
Gotcha.
If you look right here, it has a piece of shim they added. And then when I got it, I forgot which side it is. I think it might even be this side. You can see maybe some of the glue marks that are left over. I had to rip that piece of shim out to get it to actually fit in. And then it started just getting even looser. So, I mean, it is what it is, but I'll leave this over here because I don't even want to attempt to put that together again on camera.
Dude, that vehicle has got more shakes than guys' hands.
Yeah, it looks like it needs a shot of insulin, dude.
This is magnetic. This is magnetic, but
got low blood sugar.
this doesn't even peg in. It's just loose. It sits there.
Dude, all of this just reminds me of like the NR magnet base. Like it's just like, oh god.
You want to hear the creak?
Oh my god!
Oh my god! Why do you gotta remind me of my knees?
Oh, and then it falls off again.
Okay, so here's what I wanted to show you last. I don't know if it's going to come up good on camera.
Bro, you could record that sound effect for haunted house creaky door effect.
Wait. Oh, I see it.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah.
So I mean,
that may not look. That may not look
bowing inward. Look
well,
at
that's the thing is, like you said, that may not look like something major to someone watching, but over time, that it's about continuous just strain over time. That's going to keep bowing. Yeah.
And then when
just leave it. Just leave it, dude. It's not going.
No, but I got to show you this. And then when you pull it up, it has this little drop here. Sometimes it pops up. Other times it kind of gets stuck because there is some kind of shock absorption on this somehow. But the wheels do go up and down, and sometimes it won't snap into place. And I mean, it is what it is.
That vehicle's got leprosy. It's just falling apart in pieces everywhere.
Now, real fast, while I have you up on camera, you're how do I say this nicely? You don't look like you're part of the less is more approach of collecting, and I say that very politely. And I won't say that you look financially irresponsible either. You have a great collection behind you. And that being said, you're showing your collector's credentials, meaning that you have Jazzinc, you have the glorious Ecto 1 behind you, the original, which I'm very envious of, and you have two DeLoreans. So you look like someone that I trust your opinion, basically. Of all those vehicles, right? Those are the four that you have?
Yeah, I mean, I have the Tumbler as well.
The Hot Toys Tumbler.
Mm-hmm.
Of all those, just what would you say is the overall? You got to take your fandom out of it for a second, because I think I know you said it already. Which one is built the best overall, and you feel like you got your bang for your buck out of all of them?
I mean, I'll be honest. I'm a huge Ghostbusters fan, but taking that out of it, I still have to say it's the Blitzway Ecto 1, the original.
The original Ecto 1, not the Afterlife. It's the original.
No, and that vehicle was $1,400 at the time it was released. I mean, compared to today, you use the new Ecto 1, right? Let's say $1,800 vehicle.
Yeah.
The build quality is nothing. Like, this is nothing compared to that build quality, and it's similar priced. I mean, it's apples and oranges.
Yeah.
You can get a lot more for your money, if you know.
I don't know, Carlos, man. I heard the sticker on the door was just turned a little bit.
Oh yeah, no, 100%.
That would just ruin it. I want.
I honestly,
that should be a $600 vehicle because of that sticker.
No, seriously, all honesty.
600 more like 400. Get out of here.
I lucked out because I canceled the second Ecto 1, the Afterlife Ecto 1, because I just didn't have space for it. I said, what am I going to do with two Ecto 1s? And I was happy with the one I had. And after it released, I was honestly not happy. I mean, I'm not just crapping on one product. I mean, I was glad I dodged the bullet on that one too. I mean, everybody has their issues. The reason I feel that Jazzinc specifically is such a big topic and why it's always in the crosshairs is there. It's just a skewed view. I feel like aren't a lot of these in the wild within the YouTube community, other than maybe some YouTubers that have it, and a lot of people that have an opinion on it. Just, I mean, it is one thing to look at the product and kind of pass judgment on it, seeing it and you know, the photos, like you said, the renderings, everything everybody puts out there. But to actually own it and then go through this, I mean, I don't think anybody would be happy with this, having paid $2,000, no matter how you phrase it or put it, or try to, what perception or context you try to put it in.
Yeah, no, you're right, man.
To answer, Justin right here has a question: has Yost addressed the wobbly wheel issue in any of his streams? It seems like a big red flag that he hasn't corrected. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say no. The reason for that is there are cookie cutter streams that he's on.
Nobody's brought it up in streams.
No one's brought it up in streams because, to be fair, and dude, guys, call me out on the bullshit. Call me out. I don't care. Call me out. The panel here can even say he's on streams that are very much like you're not in the lion's den. That doesn't mean you have to attack somebody. Everyone deserves respect. Yost seems like a very nice gentleman to talk to. He does. He seems like a really nice guy. But the reality is they're teed up questions that are on a tee. And when you surround yourself by fandom, you know what I mean? It's sitting here and you're surrounded by people that own. It's just like John from InArt. When John from InArt goes on a stream, it's a circle jerk, basically, of everyone owning the product and saying your product is so great. Why would they then ask him any tough questions?
Except for when he went on to Geeking Out.
I was about to say, dude.
Yeah, no,
Me and CB. Oh my god, dude.
Yeah.
That was
He
a
was in the
lion's
lion's
den.
den on that one.
All right, to be fair.
And me
Didn't even
and
know
me
what
were
double
very,
joints were.
Very
Oh,
hungry
God.
lions.
Well, to C&B's credit, since then he's not gone into the lion's den of streams.
No,
But
he's like, I'll
that's
never
the
do
whole-
that again.
but that goes back to my problem where my YouTuber side of
Good
the
times.
brain. But that's where my YouTube side kicks in, where unfortunately, no, it hasn't been. Like, for example, I think the issue with the 22 and the fingerprints, it was glossed over. Like, oh yeah, we got a couple cars, no big deal. We swapped them out, no problem. Okay, I get that, but that was still a big issue for some people that dropped that kind of money, you know. And it was really glanced over.
I think there was some people that said they brought the issue up too, and he wouldn't correct it.
Yeah.
What do you mean that he wasn't correcting?
There was some people complained about the fingerprint issue, and he returned it and redone it, and then a few more people did it afterwards, and he said, "Oh, that's just the way it is."
See that this is kind of remind me of like the big flub up with Xbox 360, right?
Yeah.
Xbox 360 was a huge seller, but it had a huge default. Every 1 in 3 Xbox would red ring because they went on the cheap to get it out before the PlayStation 3 at that time. And so they were trying to do customer service, be the best. You can return it. Here's the warranty extended, but it doesn't address the issue of new products, right? They're just being, we're going to be front facing with the customers and do everything we can for their money. Like you bought the product, they're not returning.
Yeah, I had to send my Xbox 360 back 4 times because all 4 of them they sent me got the red ring.
Really?
So I just got
Holy
my money
shit.
back.
Yeah, it was bad.
They never fixed it. They just kept selling them and saying, we'll just exchange them because it would cost more money to fix the issue than it would be to sell another, just to give you another one.
Oh, with the red ring of death, yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Now let me just say, just for those, you know, like the
What the fuck?
Jazzinc diehards and everything else that just, you know, the believes that, you know, can do no wrong and everything. Like, look, and I just want to say, like, I think this panel here, I don't know if I want to speak for everybody, but I think it's fair to say, except for C&B, that you know, if we make these complaints or anything, it's not just because we want to crap on it. It's just, these are just small issues. Some are big, some are small, some are small, some are big. But we just look. I mean, I got Jazzinc stuff on order right now, and there's stuff he's going to make, like in the future. I just want it to be better. I want it to be worth the money that I pay. That's all.
And he has the opportunity.
Like
to
I don't want him to go out of business. Actually, I want him to thrive. I want him to be. I want him to be able to go, like, to put out a vehicle, and Howard's just going to go, God damn.
I mean, he is a threat, man. He is a threat to, like, when Jazzinc was releasing the Vulture. What did Howard do?
Yeah,
By the way,
exactly.
everybody, We got a vulture coming out.
Howard kept teasing it and everything else.
many
Like that. What an asshole!
How
that guy is.
many of us turn around and say
And
that?
I mean
Like,
Howard.
Yeah.
Like,
but competition, who wins at the end of the day?
Consumers.
The collector.
Collectors. So like I'm dude, I joked, and I think I said to Carlos and Sean, I was like, dude, if Hadel, I say this, like I said it before, like I'm not buying another Jazzinc product. He's not making anything I want. If he turned around and said, dude, I'm making an Ecto 1, I'll figure out a way to buy an Ecto 1. I'm sorry. Like I will, because he's making something that
80s,
I want.
yeah.
Like he will, like I will, because and you're right, we do want these companies to succeed. And there's nothing, but the problem is I just don't think there's enough transparency when those that are reviewing, and here's one thing, I'm going to give a little bit of I'm very cautious about the idea of me reviewing the car. It's very important to me because the car means a lot to me. The film means a lot to me. I grew up with that. So therefore, I know other YouTubers are going to get the car before me. I know that they're going to be doing, reviews on that. To me, I don't care what anyone says. If you're doing a stream with somebody, whether it's in our, Jazzinc, and you're putting out a review for the product, I have a skewed opinion of that review automatically because you've done, interact, you've been on streams with that person, you've talked to that person. I just don't think there's full transparency. I just don't think there is. And that's why I keep saying Rudy's review, I saw the transparency there, like the honesty, and he felt he looked defeated, honestly. Like, I don't know where my money went basically on this vehicle.
That's a lot of money to
That's a
change
lot of
people's
money, man.
lives.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
Think about someone's like giving you like, hey, here's $1,800. What, just to have fun with, right? You go around the world 3 times with that amount of money. Like you can go on vacations or whatever. You can give someone a huge gift. But the thing is, it's like with these products, right? He's, like you said, we don't want him to fail. We want him to be better because he's so, like, to quote Krennic, it's like, they're on the verge of greatness, but they're like this close to being too good. You know what I mean? They could be the Hot Toys killer, the vehicle killer out there, but it's just
100%.
not there.
Yes.
It's just not there yet.
Hot Toys isn't going to listen to us. They're a mass produced. They're Walmart. Okay. They're out there making their thing. They're going to do whatever. They don't care. Yoast does listen to community feedback. It's been proven. He does listen to community feedback. And I just don't think there's enough transparency and honesty about that. I just don't think there is.
Carlos, you had your hand up.
I just, because I want to say my experience as a collector, because I mean I'm not part of YouTube, right? I don't want to get a word in edgewise.
Yeah.
This is my first stream, right? I got no skin in the game. I really
you
don't.
You do have skin in the game. You look to the side, dude. That's just skin, man. You put a pound in.
What I mean by that is I don't have an agenda, right? I don't owe anybody anything. If anything, I'm exposing myself right now. There's always going to be people that have strong opinions and say certain things. I feel that when I started bringing these issues up in chats, like I realized I was getting shut up. Nobody wanted to listen to me. It was extremely frustrating. My only intention with all of this is to make sure that everybody's aware of what they're buying. If you want to buy it, it's fine. It's a product. It's out there for everybody to make their own decision. I just feel that when you make a purchasing decision, it's important for the research and all the pitfalls to be out there for people to make an informed decision. Informed consent is really important. And there's this reality distortion I feel around the entire product line. You get people that say they love it, it's perfect, and then you have the other end of the spectrum of disgruntled people that say they hate it. And I really appreciate Rudy's video because it was completely unbiased. It was unemotional. It was facts. It was factual. He explained his thought process, and I really feel we need more of that right now.
Yeah,
it's really lacking. I've seen streamers that go on and say it's the most screen accurate product out there, but to my knowledge, they don't own it. Nobody, and it's not a dig at anybody that doesn't own it. If you don't want to buy it, it's fine. Me having the products I have, it's everybody has different circumstances. It's not an elitist mentality. It's about just handling different. Like if you haven't had it in your hand, how are you going to be able to compare? Is what I'm getting at. So I just feel take a step back. Think before you buy, And don't try to tout the product if you're not 100% sure, if you've never owned it, and just going off what other people say. See for yourself.
That's very well said, man. You hit the nail on the head.
You're a
a
natural
lot of
streamer, dude. You're
It's true,
natural.
dude, man. This guy, look at
Nailed
look
it.
at
Better than me, man. I
I
say
know, it's better than all of us combined. I swear.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm just gonna
Dude,
retire now.
Carlos literally just told Ryan,
Dude,
look at me. Look at
dude,
me.
Yeah.
we're gonna end the stream on that note right there. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I'm gonna
You
take
should
my
have
afro off.
you
and
should have
just
had the
put it on
meme there. It's like where Carlos is like, look at me, I'm the captain now.
Yep,
Dude, I'm
this
just gonna let
is
you sign
this
in.
is
You can
my
run the
show
stream from now on,
Yeah.
dude.
No, good.